Oh no, Verstappen! Oh no, Sergio Perez! Yes, McLaren have won the Constructors. Wait a minute, with 666 points! Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video, and yes, at last, the longest season ever in Formula 1 is finally at an end at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And wow, what can I say? What a season it has been. A season that started with Max Verstappen total domination, and after about round 6 I was saying to myself, that's it, I'm done. And then just out of nowhere, controversy started. We had, of course, the Hornygate controversy, and of course we then had the on-track action controversy. We had Max Verstappen not winning races, and just everything else was just tied up like a neat little bow. No, it wasn't at all. It was absolute chaos at times. Stewards, we won't even get on that. But yes, what a season it turned out to be. Lots of people are calling it classic. I wouldn't go that far. A little bit of rose-tinted glasses there for classic. It wouldn't be a classic, but it was a very good season indeed in the end because of everything that happened. So well done to everyone. And special congratulations have to go to Maxi Boy Verstappen for winning the championship now with 437 points. Second place came to Lando Norris with 374 points. In third place it was Charles Leclerc with 356. And in fourth position it was Oscar's Pastry with 292. Fifth for Carlos Sainz with 290. Sixth for George of the Russell with 245. And in seventh place it's Lewis Hamilton with 223. And a special congratulations, I have to say, to Lewis Hamilton for that race in Abu Dhabi. It was just a masterclass. It was Lewis Hamilton of old. Now, I'm just thinking, when he gave that interview, I think it was last week, saying that, oh, I'm just so slow, man. I'm just slow. And he gave that little wink to Ariana Brava. I'm just thinking whether he was sandbagging a little bit with that, whether he was trying to play to the social media out there, because he knew that was going to get plastered all over the place. I think it was very clever. I think it's because it got lots of people talking about Lewis Hamilton, including Eddie Jordan, who said he should hang up his hat now and just go away. Well, he wasn't giving much indication on the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix that he was ready to quit yet. So, good old Eddie. But yes, I think he may have jumped the gun a little bit there. But we will see what happens. Of course, now straight into that Ferrari car for Lewis Hamilton. And it looks like there's been a complete cull in Formula 1. They've got rid of all the wheat, all the chaff, and hopefully we're going to have some good drivers going forward. Now, I'd like to do a special mention to Valtteri Bottas, who, after 3 years at Sauber, has finally admitted that maybe it wasn't the best idea 3 years ago. Now, that's very funny indeed, because when he accepted the 6 million, whatever it is, euros, dollars, pounds, 6 million for the contract for 3 years, he didn't then question his judgment, did he? No, he was very, very happy indeed to take the paycheck and say thank you very much and basically do fuck all for the last 3 years. What has he done at Sauber? Absolutely nothing. And he's even been beaten by his own teammate. Guan Yu Zhou has got 4 points. Yes, he has. And he's now, where did he end up in the end? He ended up in 22nd position, just ahead of Logan Sargent, which is nothing to be proud of. He didn't score a single point. And as I say, he said he was probably the wrong decision to join Sauber 3 years ago. Yes. Okay, Valtteri. Maybe it was because you just weren't that good, were you? You just weren't that good. You managed to use the performance value of the Mercedes to make it look like you were a pretty decent driver. But once they chucked you into a car which, admittedly, wasn't up to the job, your true form actually showed through, and it showed through that you were basically pretty shit. Yes, pretty shit. And Jack Doohan did his first race. I didn't see much of him during the qualifying during the highlights program for the race. I didn't see him much at all, so I can't really comment on Jack Doohan. He didn't get any points in the race. I do believe he was quite a way down from his teammate, of course. But anyway, first run out, it was going to be stressful, but I think he got through it okay. So there you go. That was the Grand Prix. Yes, the Grand Prix itself, not very exciting, to be honest. Not very exciting. It was okay, but once again, a little bit of a strategical race. Not much else going on, to be honest. So, but that's basically Abu Dhabi in a nutshell. And if no one's fighting for a championship, then it's pretty dull, and it was pretty dull. Now let's get to the drivers that had a few problems in that race. Let's start with Maxi Boy Verstappen. I've seen some people commenting and say, "Oh, that Maxi Boy, what a prick he was." Well, maybe he was being a bit of a prick, but how I saw it on the replays, it just looked like a bit of an accident, a bit of a racing incident. Max just going in a bit too hot-headed. He probably said to himself, "Oh, fuck it, it's the last race of the season. I can't be bothered. I'm just going to send it. He didn't seem to be sending it anywhere near George Russell's way, so that's cleared that up. But yeah, I think he just went in a little bit too deep. Of course, if this had been, fighting for a championship, he wouldn't have even attempted that move. He wouldn't have even attempted it. But he just thought, I can't be bothered. I've won the championship. I've got nothing to lose. So let's just go for it. And that's exactly what he did. And unfortunately, it didn't work out and he spun round. But he did finish the race in a good position, which is good for him. Now we go on to his teammate, which is, of course, the man himself, Checo Perez. Sergio Perez, just looking at the results of the championship, Sergio Perez finished in 8th place with 152 points. Now, I don't think Sergio did too bad, to be honest. I don't think he did terrible. I mean, he's done a hell of a lot better than Valtteri Bottas, admittedly. But I don't think he did that bad. I mean, possibly the car is set up 100% for Max Verstappen. So it's probably very difficult for Sergio Perez to drive. But the one thing you have to look at is the mistakes that Sergio has made throughout the season. And some of those mistakes I don't understand at all. Like when he spun on just after the safety car. The safety car was still going round, wasn't it? And he spun then. That doesn't make any logical sense. Yes, I know the tyres are cold and it can happen, but this is a very, very, very experienced campaigner. Look back to when Sergio Perez started in Formula 1. It was a very long time ago. I did look it up. I think it was 2009, 2008, something like that. But it was a long time ago. So he's been in Formula 1 for a very long time. So that's the kind of thing you wouldn't see from an experienced driver. Now, if you flip that over and go to David Coulthard, when he actually spun the formation lap, he was a very young, very inexperienced driver, so you have to sort of give that to him. But for someone of Sergio Perez's quality, I just found that very unusual that he would just spin like that. And of course, in the race at Abu Dhabi, he was quite down the field anyway, wasn't he? And he spun round as well. So both Red Bulls had terrible first laps, absolutely terrible. I saw a bit of contact with some of the Saubers as well. Lost one of his end fences, but I didn't see what caused that or what was going on there. So, yeah, just a terrible... Well, I'd say terrible. Max still did very well in the race, so he managed to pull a rabbit out of the hat. But, yeah, apart from that, the start of the race was pretty bad for both the Red Bulls. And unfortunately, after the race, I did see on the highlights program that apparently... Now, Christian Horner has finally called time on Sergio Perez. Now, that's not confirmed. It might not be, but it sounds like he's called time on him. Yes, it's time to go out the back, unfortunately, and get your shotgun because that horse has now gone lame. That horse has now gone lame, and it's time to put him out of his misery. Yes, because I think it's partly his misery, which is what's causing the mistakes as well. He's just not happy. He's just not happy. And if you're not a happy camper, then, it's going to come out with your race results. And, yeah, I think that was the last race we'll see Sergio Perez in, which I think is a shame because he's one of the older drivers in the field. And obviously, if he does get let go at Red Bull, there's going to be no opportunities in Formula 1 now because all the seats are field for next year, so there's not going to be an opportunity for him to drive, and he could go on the reserve list, of course. But to actually drive a full season is absolutely out of the question. Absolutely out of the question. And that means that Red Bull now are going to have to find a driver. But there is a lot of drivers out there champing at the bit, so I'm sure. But of course, as I've said before, they've got to balance that up with trying to get someone who's not going to be a thorn in Max Verstappen's side, to be honest. So they've got to be very careful who they choose. I mean, if they go for a hot shot, he may be too hot out of the stable. You know, he might be too hot, and that could be disastrous for Max Verstappen next year. So yeah, they've got to do a very measured approach. They've got to bring someone in, I think, who is a steady hand on the tiller. A steady hand on the tiller. I don't quite know who that's going to be, but we will of course find out now during the off season through the winter before they come back. I'm sure that'll get announced. Probably around January, yes, straight after Christmas, straight after the New Year, that will get announced who is going to be in that second Red Bull. But I think right now it's going to be a miracle if it's going to be Sergio Perez, to be honest. I can't see it. Okay, so we go on now to Lewis Hamilton. That great drive he's done at Abu Dhabi. It actually brought a tear to my eye. And after the race, when he did a few donuts on the start and finish line as well, it was magical. It was magical. I've said it before. I've got no affiliation to any of the drivers. I really, I don't care who it is. If they've been a prat, I'm going to call them out for it. I don't care, because I haven't got any real. I'm just looking down the list, and I haven't really got any driver that, apart from Lulu. Lulu, I've just got a lot of affection for, basically because he's one of the older drivers now, and I just, so he would be the one, and it just brought a tear to my eye. That race, and then of course his race engineer Bono as well at the end. Now you could hear in Bono's voice and the way it was breaking up that he was very sad as well, because they've had such a relationship. It was pretty much like a marriage, to be honest. It was pretty much like a marriage. It really was. The way they used to go at each other, it was just absolutely crazy, and not in the same way as Max goes with his race engineer. They really go aggressive. They really do. And, but Bono, I mean, he was... If he doesn't get another job later in life, I know he's just been made up to, I think, head of the development now. So, he's going to be doing okay. But if he doesn't get a good job later in life, he could be the best stand-up guy. He could be the best straight man in comedy. He really could. Because it doesn't matter what you throw at him. He just takes it all on the chin. Nothing phases him. All the moaning that Lewis has done over the years. Absolute, oh my God. I would have slapped him silly years ago, to be honest. But all that moaning, and he just took it on the chin, and even when he was getting so out of control, he's calm down, Lewis, calm down. And that was what he's like. I never heard his voice go up any more octaves than what it was when he speaks normally. I never heard him get too excited. And, totally different, of course, with Maxi Boy Verstappen, because Maxi Boy, he obviously can really get on your tits. That's obvious. He can get on your tits. So, yeah, he needs a good slapping down. And, of course, his race engineer, I've heard him go several octaves up sometimes. Yes, definitely. So well done to Lewis Hamilton, and I don't know whether George let him past on that last lap. No one's going to know that. I'm not so sure. Lewis had the pace though to go past him anyway, so it's probably fair. It was probably a fair move. But I'm just saying that I think George didn't actually offer up very much resistance. No, because he knew that he was leaving the team. It's the last lap of the race, last lap of the season, in fact. And, it wouldn't have made much difference in the point situation. He knew he was just ahead of Lewis Hamilton, 245 to 223. So he wasn't going to lose many points to Lewis anyway. So, yeah, I don't think he let him pass, but I think he just didn't put up any kind of defence whatsoever. And Lewis Hamilton got past. So, fair enough. Lewis has been very supportive of George since he joined the team, and he's done a lot of praise for George, I have to say. So it would have been nice if George had done that for Lewis, especially after the controversy that's been happening with George, where he's trying to act the tough guy for the last. It just makes me laugh. Trying to act the tough guy. It would be nice if that was true and he did just, just a little slight move out the way and let Lewis go past. So anyway, well done for them. So there you go then. That has been the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in a nutshell. There's lots of drivers, some drivers changing teams, some new drivers coming into the sport as well, which you'd think for an old guy I wouldn't be very happy, but no, I'm very happy to see new blood in Formula One. As long as there's a good mix of established older drivers in there as well, to maintain the consistency, I don't mind. Everybody has to start somewhere. Even in a top sport like Formula One, everybody has to start somewhere. So even at my advanced years, I'm not going to start saying, no, shouldn't have these new guys. Bring back Nigel Mansell. Yeah, bring back Nigel. No. If you want to put Jack Doohan in the car, put Jack Doohan in the car. Oliver Behrman, put him. Franco Colapinto, although I do know, or I have seen that I don't think he's got anywhere to go next year. But anyway, Liam Lawson. See, all of these. And they're all sort of down in the points, but that's because some of them haven't done many races. But yes, bring them into the sport. Doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. Apart from Lance Stroll. We could definitely get rid of him. And no one would notice. Yeah. Perhaps we could do the first Toka race driver game scenario. Do you remember when what was his name? James Randall, and they chucked him in the back of the trunk at the end, and then sort of lost him in the canal somewhere, or the car anyway. Perhaps we could do something like that with Lance Stroll, because that's the only thing that's going to get rid of Lance Stroll, because all the time Daddy's there, he's got a job for life. Yes. Oh, could you imagine it if Lance stayed for he was 45 years old and still in Formula One, still absolutely coming nowhere. He's got 24 points total this season, so still coming nowhere, but he's 45 and still going, oh, well, I believe I'm still a good contender. Oh, God. Fernando Alonso finished with 70 points. I have to say, for an old guy, that's pretty impressive. So well done to Fernando Alonso for wrapping up the season. And so that's almost it, apart from just to say, as I get rid of that screen, just to say congratulations to McLaren for winning the Constructors. Yes, winning the Constructors. Of course, the reason why they won it has got a lot to do with Sergio Perez, because Maxi Boy has basically held up the team on his own. So that's the reason why they won the Constructors. You've had Lando Norris and Oscar's Pastry in there as well. So, that's two teammates that have done well in points, so that's why they've overtaken. And they've overtaken Ferrari as well, who also had two good teammates and did well, but just pipped them to the post in the end. So McLaren, for the first time since 1998, yes, someone told me that in the comments, don't know who it was, can't remember. I do apologise. Got memory like a sieve. But yes, first time since 1998. I can't believe that. I mean, that dominant car in 98, they absolutely dominated, didn't they? And won the championship. But that was it. They haven't won the Constructors again, so they didn't win it in 1999. So obviously Schumacher must have won it in the Ferrari then. Obviously. Didn't win the championship. I'm talking about the Constructors. But yeah, anyway, so there you go. Congratulations. And commiserations to getting 666 points. That's, that's not good at all. No, that's not good at all. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Look at this, 20 minutes again, almost. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. And I'd like to do a special thank you for everyone who's stuck with me during this very, very long season. 24 races. I think so that equates to 24 of these Monday type videos where I just sit in front of the screen and just spout utter rubbish for 20 minutes. And this time I didn't have a script. I didn't even write down the bullet points because I saw the race and I thought, you know what, I don't think I'm going to need to write anything down because I'm sure that it's not going to be very exciting, and so I can remember it in my head. So that's what I did. So yeah, I just spouted rubbish for the past 20 minutes. But I'd just like to say a special thank you to everybody who has joined me this year not just for these, but for the live streams that I do on Thursday nights as well. You know, there's some awesome people on them live streams, it really is. And of course for the All Seasons, which is still going as well. A lot of people keep asking me, are you going to retire yet? Are you going to retire yet? Well, I haven't yet decided, but I will be back for 2025 for the real life Formula One season, and I'll be back doing these on Mondays after all the races. So we will see what happens. We will see what happens. I did say to someone, I really want to see what happens with the 2026 season with the new regulations that come in. So I'm going to provisionally say if the regulations don't really make much difference, then 2026 will probably be my last year. But that's, you know, probably is a word that I use a lot. I had no idea All Seasons would still be running 7 years later. So, yeah, who knows? Who knows? I could still be here in 2032. So I'm definitely not saying that's it, I'm done in 2026. But I'm saying that I will see how it goes and go on from there. But I'd just like to say a special thank you for everyone that supports this very, very, very tiny channel. As I mean, what have I got? I don't know. I haven't checked it lately. 1.88k or whatever. But the views for such a small channel are good. I mean, that video the other week with Lando, I got 1k views for that. I mean, I was just so impressed. I really was. For such a micro, tiny channel, I just like to say thank you very much. You have been awesome, as always, as I say at the end of every All Seasons. You really have. And yes, the All Seasons will be continuing next year. So there might be a live stream this Thursday. There might not be. I'm undecided at the moment. But if there isn't, I will be back for a Christmas special at some point. So, you know, catch me then. But as for the live streams, of course, they will be stopping because we're off season now and there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. I have to have some kind of Formula One talking point to do the live streams. Well, I say that. I do also go off on a tangent a lot, but that's just old age creeping in. But yeah, I do have to have something to talk about. So that'll be it for the live streams. But as I say, there'll be plenty of me. Unfortunately, everyone's going, oh God. There'll be still plenty of me on YouTube through the winter times, through the you know the times when all Formula One fans have to huddle together in front of the fire, just waiting for that start date for the next race in 2025, which is going to be Australia, and I'm so excited for that. Yes, I used to love the starts being in Australia, and they are back finally after a very, very long time. Bahrain has basically had the monopoly on the first round status, but now it's gone back to Australia. I don't know if that's permanent or just next year, I don't know, but I'm just happy. I'm just very, very happy that we are going back to Australia next year. Anyway, so that's it. I am signing off from these Monday videos because this is now officially my last one. The season is over. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. And yeah, I'm going to have a bit of a rest now because it has been the longest season in Formula One ever. Absolutely ever. And so there you go. Thanks very much, and I'll catch you later.